Shocking new figures from the Department for Work and Pensions reveal that over £7.5 billion in universal credit was doled out to foreign nationals claiming benefits in 2023 alone. That's £7.5 billion of taxpayers' money. Hello and welcome, I'm Emily Carver and this is GBN Originals. We're talking about more than 1 million non-British claimants receiving these benefits. Once they are granted indefinite leave to remain and have settled status or refugee status, they're entitled to benefits on the same terms as British citizens. They are also entitled to a state pension. But does that make it right? Well, analysis by the Centre for Migration Control has found that Congolese, Iraqi and Afghani people are claiming benefits at 4 times the rate of British people. In fact, a staggering 40 nationalities are claiming more benefits than British citizens, and topping the list, Poland, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Over the next decade, around 800,000 foreign nationals are expected to be given indefinite leave to remain in the UK. The Centre for Policy Studies is warning that recent migration waves could cost the country billions of pounds. We're talking about a potential lifetime net fiscal cost of £234 billion if current conditions remain unchanged. Is this sustainable? Our Shadow Home Secretary, Conservative Chris Philp, didn't mince his words, calling this benefits bill for foreign nationals unacceptable and astonishing. But what's the solution? And isn't his party part of the problem? The Conservatives are suggesting banning low-paid and jobless asylum seekers from remaining indefinitely in the country. They're also calling for a salary threshold increase to £38,700 for all work visas. Not everyone's on board with this. Some Labour MPs are expressing concerns about potential cuts to disability benefits. This could affect many British people. And Greater Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham is urging caution, suggesting we focus on helping people into work rather than slashing benefits. So there are 2 issues here, aren't there? On the one hand, we have an exceptional number of foreign nationals claiming benefits like universal credit in this country. And then you have the Labour government wanting to slash that ballooning welfare bill for Brits across the board.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GB News discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GB News to start protecting yourself digitally today.
In other news, to add to our financial woes, our asylum system is at breaking point, quite similar to our soaring benefits bill. Now the cost of our asylum bill is also soaring beyond belief. The number of failed asylum seekers waiting for appeal decisions, so these are people who have been rejected once and now are appealing that decision, has risen by nearly 500% in just 2 years, reaching 41,987 by the end of 2024. Now this backlog is hindering efforts to move migrants out of hotels, which we know is costing us about £6 or £7 million per day. 38,079 asylum seekers are in hotel accommodation by the end of the previous year. Now, the government plans to introduce a mandatory 24-week legal deadline for asylum appeals, aiming to halve the current average processing time of 46 weeks. But Labour's efforts to address the issue include a £20 million package to increase legal aid fees for lawyers representing asylum seekers. Okay, well, the spike in appeals is attributed to a significant drop in asylum grant rates, falling from 75% in 2022 to 47% in 2024. So more people are appealing these decisions. Now, the Refugee Council forecasts that housing asylum seekers in hotels could cost taxpayers nearly £1.5 billion in 2025 if numbers don't increase. This at the same time as the government is looking for ways to cut disability benefit. Now, the opposition criticises the current government's handling of the situation, citing a 28% increase in illegal channel crossings since the election. Things aren't getting better on that front. Now, the government acknowledges that inheriting a flawed asylum system and claims to be taking urgent action to clear the backlog, and they say to save an estimated £4 billion over the next 2 years. But when will that start actually happening? Well, earlier today on Good Afternoon Britain, we spoke to the former Home Secretary and Reform Party spokesperson, Ann Widdecombe, on this. This is what she had to say. Well, joining us now is former Shadow Home Secretary Ann Widdecombe. Ann, thank you very much. Welcome to the show. So all of these people have had their claim rejected, and now they're stuck in this appeal process. I mean, what's the solution here? Should it be no appeals allowed?
There are two solutions. One is what you've suggested, which is to cut down very sharply on the circumstances in which people can appeal. But the second, and to my mind, much more important one, is reform has a policy that if you come here from a safe country, so that would apply to every single person coming in on the small boats, for example. If you come here from a safe country, then you have no claim for asylum by definition, because you've been in a safe country, you aren't in danger. And so we will say right from the outset, you have no claim. Never mind, you can't appeal. We'll say you have no claim. And I think that is very important because people will play the appeals process. We are fair in this country. We always like to give the right of appeal, but it can be drawn out for a very long time.
And would that rely on France taking back those people, though, which I imagine might be a little tricky to negotiate?
Well, not that tricky, actually. I mean, I think you would give them a choice. You would say you can either be returned to your home country, wherever that might be, or you can say you can go to France. The fact is that the French shepherd boats into our water almost daily. And we play by the rules and we don't do the same. But we could return boats to France if we wanted to. And that indeed, to turn around the boats before they get to us, would also be part of the policy.
I know that successive prime ministers have asked the French about this. I know that successive Home Secretaries have asked the French about this. This a returns deal with France has been... I attended one of the conferences where this was on the agenda. France just continues to say no and frankly threatens the United Kingdom were we to turn back those boats. Is it not unreasonable to suggest that politicians haven't tried this avenue, but given the amount of economic leverage that France has over the United Kingdom, the fact that they could come for our waters, our imports, all of these different things, our energy, we have to find a solution that the French are on board with, otherwise it just doesn't work.
Oh dear, you have run up the white flag, haven't you? The fact is that we pay France huge sums of money every year to assist in stopping the small boats. And the fact is that France does nothing about it. In the most recent incident, which your channel gave an awful lot of publicity to, they actually called on the British Navy to come in and rescue some asylum seekers. And then even though they were rescued in French waters, take them back to Britain. We're far too blinking soft. And if we actually stood up for ourselves, it would be different.
Would Donald Trump let the French get away with it?
Donald Trump controls the most powerful economy in the world. Of course he would. But this is why the Australians can do this to islands with GDP per capita, that are in the lowest percent or the lowest 10%.
We could play a little more hardball, though, couldn't we? Oh, we could, throw a weight around a little more, Anne.
As far as I'm concerned, the solutions are there. what has been lacking is the will to grasp them. And you've quoted Australia, you've quoted America, and you might actually quote Belgium in an example that isn't often talked about, when they were being treated more or less as the French shores were being treated. And they said, no, we're not putting up with this. So they simply pursued any boats leaving for Britain and brought them back.
Ah.
It can be done. Yeah,
Interesting stuff. Well,
Yeah,
Ann
it can be
Widdecombe,
done.
always a pleasure to speak to you, former Shadow Home Secretary, of course, now Reform Party spokesperson. Thanks indeed for joining us.
Well, there you have it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think we're spending far too much on the welfare bill? Do you think it's a little bit outrageous that we're spending so much money on benefits for foreign nationals in this country? And also, what do you make of the asylum backlog? Do you think there should be a time limit for how many times, or indeed a limit on the number of times people can appeal their asylum decisions, and in what time frame, crucially? Thank you for watching. This has been Emily Carver. Don't forget to subscribe to the GB News YouTube channel for more content like this.